Hey, Michelle, how are you doing today?
Hi, Lindsay. I'm good. Lindsay, what beautiful hair you have.
Oh, thank
Is
you, Michelle.
You're welcome. Is it a lot to take care of? I know we've talked about this before, but I just can't get over what beautiful hair you have.
Wow, what a statement. Oh my gosh. Well, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. A very low maintenance, a little leave-in conditioner, and that's it. Yeah.
Okay, well, that's very good. So we're gonna have a lot of fun in this episode. We're gonna use a construction that came up naturally in a recent episode that we did. Guys, wait until the end of this episode because we will tell you which one inspired us. But we
Yes.
were we were talking about this, and it's one of those came up naturally in conversation, and we decided to do a whole episode on it. So this is gonna be
Yes.
fun.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Guys, hit the follow button right now on All Ears English to make sure you get every single episode of the show. So, yes, we'll let you know what that is at the end, but let's get into it, Michelle. What did you say to me at the top? What did you say?
Right. I said, "What beautiful hair you have."
Yes, that feels like a very, I don't know, unique construction, a different way, not an everyday way of saying things. Don't you think?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it is a little bit unique, and I won't tell you the episode yet, but it was inspired by what we had said was, "What professional seating arrangements?" So, it's it's what something something, and we came up with "you have" as well because it reminded us of Little Red Riding Hood, remember?
Yes, that's why it feels kind of artsy or theatrical when you say
Yeah.
that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
What was said in and was it the wolf that said this about the girl, or what was it?
No, I think it's the girl
Okay.
because Little Red Riding Hood, the girl.
Yeah.
Because I think she said, "What big eyes you have, what sharp
Ah.
teeth you have,"
Oh,
right?
right. Yes.
Right? So I think she's just because isn't the wolf dressed up as the grandmother
Oh,
or something?
it was so long ago that I'm
I
sure our
know.
listeners have read it too, and they know, but probably that's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but that's a very popular construction in that story, in that fairy tale. If it's a fairy tale considered, well, whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's very
Story. Mhm.
popular. So we wanted to devote a whole episode to what something something something. So it could be what something 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 you have,
Yep.
or just what something something. It sounds so funny when I'm saying it. What something something.
Right. So we'll give a lot of examples to make sure we're
Yes.
super clear. But what does this do? I mean, go back to Red Riding Hood. What was the scenario? Or go back to when we started the episode. I mean, what are we trying to emphasize here?
Right. So when I said what beautiful hair you have,
Hmm.
what I'm basically is saying you have beautiful hair,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
And when I said what professional seating arrangements in that other episode, it was saying these are really professional seating arrangements.
Yes.
Or with Little Red Riding Hood, she's saying you have big
Right.
eyes, right? So
Yeah. Yeah.
really that's what it means. So it's just a different structure to express yourself.
Hmm.
But okay, so now what does it do? Why would we even use this?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's more emphatic than just saying
Mhm.
you have great hair, right? You have
Right.
beautiful hair. It's more, well, it's just if you want to say something a little bit differently one day, right? Sometimes we just want to say something in a
Right.
different way. And this gives
True.
us an option, you know?
Yeah, sometimes it's as simple as that. We just want lots of tools,
Yeah. Tools.
different ways that we can express ourselves. So really, yeah, I like it. We don't need to make it too complicated.
Exactly. It's really not that complicated, right,
No,
Michelle? Yeah.
exactly. Just it's a little expressive. It's kind of interesting sounding, something to use for fun. So let's give a few examples here. So this one of the things this reminds me of is talking to a child,
Hmm.
right? So if you could say like, "What a good job you did listening to directions,"
Yes. And
right?
that would be common when you're talking to kids because maybe you're being a little bit more emphatic, right? A little bit more
Yes.
animated, maybe. Hmm.
Yes, yes. Or what's another thing you could say?
So maybe you go to a restaurant with a friend and you say, wow, what delicious pasta. You have to try this. And of
Yeah.
course, you could also say, wow, this pasta is delicious. You have to
Right.
try this. It would mean exactly the same thing, Michelle, right?
Yeah, exactly. Same
Yeah.
thing.
Yep.
Or let's say you go to somebody's house and you're there for the first time. You could say, "Wow, what a beautiful kitchen." You could also
Yes.
say, "What a beautiful kitchen you have," but
Hmm.
you don't need the "you have."
Exactly, because we know that the kitchen belongs to that person, right? So it's
Right.
self-explanatory. It's just a
Right.
different way. Sometimes if you feel like changing the way you structure your sentences, you want to engage with the person in a way that you're not boring yourself because you're always using the same constructions, this gives you that option, right?
Yeah, and I just wanna point out because yeah, that Lindsay, that's a very good point with the "you have," because if I just said it would be weird if I just said to you, "Lindsay, wow, what beautiful hair."
Yes.
Right?
Right.
Because
Mhm.
you probably know I'm talking about your hair,
Ye
but
yeah.
I don't know, it just sounds a little strange to just be if I'm talking to you and I just say, "What beautiful hair."
Yeah, sometimes the "you have" is required and sometimes it's not. It
Right.
it just depends on the situation, although with "What a Beautiful Kitchen," that works too without saying "you have," and we know that that person owns that kitchen, right? So
Right. So, it's a
it's a
little
little
interesting. You gotta play
yeah.
with it a little.
Okay, Michelle, we are back. So do you say, this yourself sometimes, Michelle? What are the scenarios that you hear yourself using this?
Yeah, I think I do say it, because I think in probably in the context I gave,
Mhm.
because I thought of the examples. I'm
Yeah.
sure I say it to my kids, like,
Uh-huh.
"What a beautiful picture!" Right? If they
Right.
come home with artwork and "What a beautiful picture," or something like that, or yeah,
Yeah.
going if I'm meeting of. Yeah, I think these contexts are actually probably how I would say it. Maybe to describe food, to describe something I enjoy,
Uh-huh. Mhm.
or even something I don't enjoy. Like, what about something like this, Lindsay? What a ridiculous thing to say.
Yeah. Yeah, that follows the same pattern and 100%. So it could be used in a kind of an interaction, right? Kind of a fight too. So it's not
Yeah.
always just great things
Right.
that we're highlighting. We can be
Right.
creative with how we use this for sure.
Right.
Yeah,
Right. What about you, Lindsay? Would you say that you use
I
it? I mean,
do.
it is pretty versatile.
Yeah, and what I said earlier is actually true. It's when I just don't want to sometimes when I use the same constructions over and over, I get bored hearing
Mhm.
myself talk. Right? I want to hear something different coming out of my mouth and engage with someone in a slightly different way. If that
Yeah.
makes any sense. I think our
Yeah.
listeners will resonate with that in their own language. If we're always saying, "Oh, your kitchen's so great. Oh, your hair is so great." It's kind of boring, right?
Yeah.
And
"Oh, I love your hair. Oh, I
yeah,
love
I
your
love your
kitchen.
hair, right?
Oh,
It's
this is great. I love."
yeah.
Yeah.
I love your
There's
kitchen. No, boring, right? So something new, something different is the reason I use it, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, guys, whenever you want to say one of those, just imagine Lindsay popping out of the back going, "No, boring." No, just kidding. Those are all necessary, obviously. It's just
Yeah.
about guys, you are at this level where you really are
Yeah.
able to mix things up. So,
Yes.
we should do it.
100% we should. And if you're taking the IELTS exam, for example, you'll want to. You'll need to mix it up. You need that range of vocabulary. So this works in all aspects of life. What about
Mhm.
in our business lives, in our professional lives, Michelle?
Yeah, I think it can be used too. I mean, let's say you're looking over something with a coworker.
Mhm.
Like what you could say, "Oh, what a I'm trying to think of an example here.
What a great presentation you just
Yeah,
made.
what a great presentation.
Mhm.
What great numbers we had this quarter." Something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, what an
But
important, observation. Let's say that coworker looked at the numbers and she realized something important. Oh, what an important point. So it's so diverse and versatile.
Yeah, definitely. And you do wanna use a certain I mean, you don't always have to make it sound like a cartoon, like,
Right.
"What amazing whatever," but
Yeah,
you do have to show somewhat in your tone of voice, something a little different, right? Not just,
you do.
"What great hair you have,"
Yeah,
right? Like
you should never speak like that anyways, right? No matter what you're
No.
saying, we wanna put life into our words for that connection that we want. Yeah?
Yeah.
Love it.
And this also reminds me of when people say how, and we can do this on a whole other episode. We could do a whole
Mhm.
episode. How blank, right? So
Yeah.
sometimes you might hear somebody say, "How sweet, how nice,"
Yes,
right?
very, very similar, right?
Yeah. So we maybe guys again hit follow. Maybe we'll do a whole episode about that so we can really dig into it. But
Yeah. Mhm.
yeah, this I mean to me this is really good for connection. It's a little
Yes.
unique sounding and it shows you care about what you're saying. You're
Yes.
not just being saying the same old thing. You're putting a little extra thought.
putting a little bit of extra kind of spotlight on the person that or the thing that you're highlighting too. Do you know what I
Mhm.
mean? You're kind of giving
Mhm.
them a little bit more of a I don't know, a stage of like, oh, what a
Mhm.
beautiful backsplash. Let's do a
Mhm.
role play here, and
Let's
let's
do
take
a
a
role
look at how
play.
it looks. It looks like we
Here we go.
are friends, and I am showing you around my new apartment. So you're looking at my
Yes.
home, which is a common scenario where you might hear this usage. Okay, here.
Exactly,
Yes.
exactly. All right. Thanks for showing me around.
Oh, of course. So here's the kitchen.
Wow, what a beautiful backsplash.
Oh, thank you. Oh, no, one tile fell off. What a mess.
Oh, I think maintenance will fix that. But really, what big windows this place has. Amazing natural light.
Thanks. I love that too. Yeah,
Okay.
no, this is really good. And the reason this, especially in this scenario, actually, it kind of sounds like maybe this is a rental, but I was originally thinking this was a home
Right.
that someone
I
designed.
know. I know.
And
I kind of made it a little bit.
well, maybe it's you have maintenance and it's your own home. Who knows, right? Who knows?
Yeah,
But
yeah, exactly. Who
yeah,
knows? Well,
but someone, if it is a home that someone designed themselves and had built, they spent a lot of time on the details, right?
mhm.
The
Mhm.
backsplash, the windows, the layout, open floor, wood floor. It's a big deal.
Yeah.
So that would be a great scenario where you would open this up and say, what a beautiful XYZ. It just gives them a little more recognition, I feel like.
Yeah. And
Hmm.
Lindsay, what is a backsplash?
Yeah, good question. Let's make sure we know.
That's going to be one of our keywords for today in the app for
This
sure.
was kind of when I first became aware of like searching for homes and things. I learned this too. I didn't know before. So a backsplash is just when you're in your kitchen and you're in front of the sink, it's the thing that's behind the sink, kind of just the tile. Usually it's some form of tile, some kind of artsy pattern
Yeah.
that protects the wall from all the backsplash,
Yeah.
right?
And
Hmm.
oh, that's funny. I didn't even think of it like that.
I
But
know.
yeah, and it doesn't just have to be behind the sink.
Yeah.
It can be, it usually sometimes it extends then the full wall,
Yes.
like a good part of the kitchen, and it's just
Hmm.
some sort of tile, some sort of pretty thing.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
exactly. Let's go through what we said exactly because again, I think this is a good context for this kind of usage. So you said, "Of course." So here's the kitchen. I said, "Here's the kitchen," and then you
Good
said,
intonation on that.
"It's a good intonation." Yeah, it's very typical, right? Mhm.
And then I said, "What a beautiful backsplash." So I could have just said, "Oh, that backsplash is beautiful," and that would have
Sure.
been fine too, but this is just different.
Exactly. It's almost like you're like your jaws dropping kind of like,
Right. What
"Wow,
a
what a
beautiful
beautiful."
back.
That's kind of the vibe you're getting with this phrase, "What a something."
Right.
And then I say, "Thank you." "Oh no, one tile fell off. What a mess."
Right.
And again, it's not always for positive things.
Right.
It often is,
Yep.
but in this scenario,
Yep.
I'm just remarking this is a total mess. I'm embarrassed that a tile fell off. That's probably not good. That's not good
And then
quality
for
craftsmanship here.
some reason I said maintenance will fix it. I don't know. But who knows? Okay. And then
Who
I said,
knows?
but really, what big windows this place has. So
Yes.
yeah, and then I said amazing natural light. And there's a lot of interesting stuff going on there, actually. But really, that's kind of interesting how we switched it
Yeah.
there. We could do an episode on that.
We
There's
could
so
do it.
much.
Yeah, we should, Michelle. We should do another episode on that. And I'm just imagining you're looking towards the windows and again, like your jaw's kind of dropping and you're making a gesture towards the windows. This is why this construction makes sense. It makes it a little bigger, just a little
Yeah,
bigger,
it
right?
does. It
Mhm.
does.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, this has been great. Guys, to listen to the episode that inspired this, that was episode 2331, a conversation starter. How are kids seen around the world? That was a really interesting one to do,
Yes.
Lindsay.
That was a really good one. We use the metaphor. I'm not sure if it was originally going to be a metaphor, but it became a metaphor of the kids table. Are children in your culture seen as little adults
Right.
or children, right? So that's a
Right.
really interesting and important question. So go over, listen to that episode, and then vote in our poll. I believe that poll is still open, Michelle. So go check it out. Where
All
should we leave
right.
our listeners today? What's the overall idea from today's episode?
To me, the overall idea is keep mixing things up.
Yeah.
Try different things. We can dig into what the meaning is, and we can really try and analyze it as much as possible. And we gave you different contexts and ways to
Mhm.
use it. But at the end of the day, a lot of this is just about variety
Yeah.
and,
Mhm.
not sounding boring, not always saying the same old thing, and just
Right.
so really try it, sprinkle it in a little bit, because it's a very harmless construction. I don't think you're gonna
Yes.
it's not something that, sometimes we have episodes where we say, oh, try this one, and
Right.
it's a little bit more tentative how to use
Yes.
it, and it could
Yes.
imply this or that, but this one is pretty harmless.
Yeah, you really can't do any damage here. You can't
Right.
go wrong, everyone. So go and throw it into your speech sometime in the next week. That is our
Yes.
challenge for you. All right.
Yes.
And don't forget to hit the follow button on All Ears English. All
All
right,
right.
Michelle. Well, I'll see you in the next one.
All
Okay.
right. Bye, Lindsay.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.